playing more than one note at a time. I know all of you have done this, at least on accident, way back when you were first learning how to play your instrument. It was pretty hard to just hit one string at a time. But as you got better, you learned to just stay on one string. We've done a little bit in the past of intentionally playing two strings at the same time. But did you know that composers would actually write for up to 4 strings at the same time? It's true. Now, we don't exactly play it that way, and I'll show you the trick here in just a sec. So, let me show you on my violin how a 4-note chord might work. Now, you could hear all 4 notes at the same time, but they didn't all start at the exact same time. In our song that's on page 20 in your books, the violin part has some 3- and 4-note chords that they have to learn how to play. So we're going to let everybody learn because it's really fun, and that way if we play a song in the future that has them, you'll all know how to do it already. So I'm going to show you, this is what it looks like if you have more than one note at a time. Now, since I filled them in, they should all be connected with a stem because they'd be quarter notes, but I did not do that. I just filled them in so it'd be easier to see on the screen. But you can see they're all stacked directly on top of each other, so that means they're going to happen at the same time, almost, because if you try to actually just play all 4 strings at the same time, you can't, because your bridge is curved so that you can actually hit one string at a time if you want to. So we've got here just your 4 open strings so that you don't have to worry about what your left hand is doing at all. It'll just be playing on your 4 open strings. Now, like I said, we don't actually play them all at the exact same time. What we do is we split them into 2 groups, because we know we can play with our bow on 2 strings at the same time. So what we do is we play the bottom 2 strings first, and then really quickly roll our bow to play the top 2 strings. And violins. All right, so cellos and violas, you would play your C and G string at the same time first, and then quickly roll your bow to play D and A. And violin, same idea. Start by playing your G and D strings at the same time and quickly roll your bow to play the open A and the open E. So let's try that by doing a little bit of an exercise. Now, if you are on viola or cello, I apologize. I've got my violin right now. So you're not going to be playing the same pitches as me, but you will still be going from low to high. So first off, let's make sure we can play 2 notes at once. All right, and bass. I'm sorry, Lily, I keep forgetting that we have a bass player. So you can try this too, although the reality is basses almost never play 4-note chords, but it's still fun to try. Or you can grab your violin and try. All right, so you're gonna play the lowest 2 strings first. If you're having trouble getting your bow to go on 2 strings instead of 1, since you've spent so long doing the opposite, you can imagine that right between the 2 strings, there is an imaginary string, and that's what you're actually trying to play with your bow. So just imagine a string right between them, and set your bow on that imaginary string and play, and you'll probably have better luck getting 2 strings. Now, what I want you to do is you're going to play and stop your bow in the middle, kind of like doing a hooked bow, and then you're going to quickly roll to your top 2 strings and play those. Let's do that again. Bottom 2, quick roll, one more time. Bottom, quick roll, play. All right, now what we need to do is try to go faster. So you kind of have to lunge really fast to get those top 2 strings, but you go so fast with your bow that it's not going to matter. Now, one thing you want to get in the habit of doing when you play a 4-note chord, you don't want to end with your bow on the string. Lots of times we do, but in this case, in order to hear all 4 notes at once, you actually want to come out of it, and watch what my hand does. It's kind of like a circle set motion, so I'm coming out, up, and then I'm getting ready to land back down by my hand, because usually that's where we like to play. So let's try 4 in a row. We're going to go pretty slow. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now don't worry too much if for right now it's kind of like this, and you hear some middle notes. Keep working at it, and eventually you'll be able to do the 2 and 2. Now, once you're able to do that with your bow, you can make it sound prettier by changing what notes you're playing on some of the strings. So, if you put your first finger on the next string, on the D string, cellos, and you put your second finger, so a C, on the A string, you'll get a C major chord. Viola, same idea for you. Put first finger on D and second finger on A, but make that a low 2. Violin, same fingering as viola, but it's going to end up being called a different chord. So first finger on the A string, low second finger on the E string. So, and then the other bottom 2 strings are still open. This is one of the easiest chords to learn to play first. So I'll hold that for just a sec. If you need to pause it so you can figure out what notes you need to play, go for it. All right, so on violin and viola, it's gonna look like this. I put my pointer finger on the A string or the D string if you're viola, and then my second finger is gonna be lightly touching my first finger, really close there, because it's a low 2, but it's on the E string or viola A string. Okay, so I'm going to leave those down the whole time. I normally would not hide these fingers underneath. That's a really bad habit, but you can't see my fingers if I do that. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing I just did with my bow. And now we get a beautiful sound. And once you learn to vibrato, it makes it even better. All right, cellos, same idea. 1, 2, bow on the bottom. I'm going to not be great at this, but you get the idea. All right, so that's how you can play multiple note chords. It's called quadruple stops because you're stopping all 4 strings with your bow at some point. So that's just what they call it. 2 strings is double stops, 3 strings is triple stops. So I look forward to working with you next time. Hope that was clear. Let me know if you have questions. We'll talk to you later. Bye.